Most of what you heard about Madagascar, it's probably wrong. Thanks to a certain movie, the misconceptions are crazy. Yes, we exist, and no, we don't have penguins. So after hours of research and as a malagasy, today I'm going to teach you every single thing that you will probably need to know about Madagascar, and I'm going to correct some lies that the movie taught you. Many people actually think this island is out of this world. I'm going to have to counter that, but I'm going to explain the reason later. For now, let's get into the basic facts. Madagascar is the 4th largest island in the world. It's located off of the southeast coast of Africa, about 400 kilometers away from Mozambique. And it's about 587,000 kilometers squared. Square kilometers. Which is slightly larger than France and twice the size of the US state of Arizona, for reference. And it has a population of 30 million people as of 2024. The capital is called Antananarivo, which is where I live. And some people also refer to Antananarivo as Tana for short, because Antananarivo is long as heck. The country is divided into 22 regions. The official languages are Malagasy and French. I'll explain Malagasy later, or you can also skip to this timestamp if you want to know right now. The time zone that we have here is UTC +3. The currency that we use is the Malagasy ariary, which is about 4,500 ariary for 1 USD. And then Madagascar gained its independence from France in 1960. Now, let's get to the geography and the climate. For the geological origins, Madagascar broke away from an ancient supercontinent called, Gondwana, leading to 90% of its endemic species. That's why it is very unique. The flora and fauna is very unique, and you can't really find it out of Madagascar. We have 5 major geographic zones. First one that I'm going to talk about is the Eastern Rainforest Belt. That receives about 2,000 to 4,000 millimeters of rainfall per year. It's very rainy, and I absolutely love it. I love the rain so much. And it's pretty hot at the same time, it's pretty humid as well. It's home to the Masuala and the Ranmafana National Parks. So the Masuala National Park is the largest protected area in Madagascar. It is home to the red ruff lemurs, the lead-tailed geckos, rare birds like helmet vanga, and chameleons. I actually saw a chameleon just cross the street the other day. Chameleons are very, very common. A lot of people think lemurs are common, they just fly around, but no, those ones are only in parks. That's also something that I wanted to clear and get out there, because a lot of people have actually asked, do you see lemurs? No, I see chameleons. Number 2 for the geographic regions is the Central Highlands. So the Central Highlands is a volcanic highlands. It has 1,200 to 1,500 meters in elevation, roundabout. It's known for its rice paddies. Rice, by the way, is the foundation of all life in Madagascar. People love rice. Literally, breakfast, lunch, dinner is rice, okay? There will be no Madagascar without rice. Rice is the foundation of everything. Then, number 3 for the geographic regions is the western, specifically southwestern dry forests. Here's where you can find the beautiful avenue of the baobabs, which is the King Julian tree. Then it's also a critical habitat for lemurs and fusas. I've actually never seen a fusa before. So number 4 for the geographic regions is the southern spiny desert. That's the driest region with less than 400 millimeters of rain per year. Number 5 is the northern tropical coast. So this is what people think of when they think of island. I come from the island of Madagascar. Ooh, island, yeah. That's basically what they think. So it's coral reefs and vanilla plantations and the beautiful beaches, clear waters, basically pattern. So something that I wanted to talk about is the climate systems. It does depend on the regions. So for example, here in Antananarivo, we're in the highlands, and so it is colder, and so we do have summer and winter. I would argue we don't really have autumn and spring. Yes, we do have transitioning between summer and winter, but the two big major seasons are summer and winter here in Antananarivo in the Central Highlands. But there are some places where it's literally just dry season and rainy season. Now, section 2, history. So for the early human settlement, this happened in 200 BCE to 1000 CE. The first inhabitants were the Austronesian sailors from Borneo in 350 BCE. Then there was the Bantu migrants, which came in 1000 CE, and then they mixed, and then they created the people of Madagascar. That's why there are so many different faces in Madagascar. Although we're all from Madagascar, people look different. There's also a lot of tribes, which I will explain later, or skip to this timestamp if you want to know about the tribes and the ethnic groups. Then we have the rise of the Malagasy kingdoms. Now, the biggest and probably the most powerful kingdom in Madagascar until the French colonial powers took over was the Merina kingdom, which was from 1540 to 1897. The capital is Antananarivo, and that's why it's still the capital to this day. And then the king Angiapuni Merina was the person that unified the highlands in 1787 to 1810. Now, this is also what I found on the net when I researched. I don't take Malagasy history, I do an online South African school. So then we have the Sakalava and the Betsileo kingdoms, and according to the net, they were controlled by coastal trade. So this included the slaves and firearms and all that. Now, for the colonial period, this is from 1897 to 1960. So this is the French that colonized us. That's why we have French as one of the languages that is spoken here in Madagascar. Then they employed a forced labor system, which they used to build railways and plantations and all that type of stuff. Now, post-independence, so from 1960 to the present, in 1972, there was a socialist revolution by Didier Ratsiraka. In 2009, there was a coup and there was a clash between Andrazuela and Marc Ravalomanana. Now, the current president is Andrazuela. He's on a second mandate. He was re-elected in 2023. Now let's go on to the people and culture. So we have a lot of ethnic groups. I won't go into every single ethnic group. There's about 18 ethnic groups. There could be more and there could be smaller ethnic groups as well. But I'm only going to go into some ethnic groups. I'm not going to go into all of them, otherwise this video will be an hour long. So let's start with the Merina. The Merina make up 26% of the population, according to the net. Again, they live in the highlands. They are highlanders. They are the most historically dominant ethnic group. Their kingdom was really strong back in the day and all that. That's also why Antananarivo is the capital, because this is where the Merina were settling in. Then we have the betsileo. They make up 12% of the population. I'm a betsileo, and they are skilled in rice farming. Then some other coastal groups, because the Merina and the betsileo are more like inland. There are again different types of betsileo. So in the ethnic group, there are different ethnic. It's not negative. It's not like, oh, you're a betsileo from this side and you're a betsileo from this side, so we don't like each other. We don't do that. So we have some more like predominantly coastal groups. So we have the Betsum Sarika, Sakalav, and we also have the Antandrui. I'm not going to go too in depth on that. Tell me if you want to know more about the people of Madagascar, our ethnic groups, our culture, all that type of stuff. I'll be more than happy to do that, because I'm also very passionate about that. Then we have the religion and ancestral worship. So the majority of people are Christians, and then there's also the people that believe in the ancestral worship, so basically the religion of our ancestors and praising that our ancestors are sacred. Then we have a lot of Muslims. I've seen a lot in the northern coast of Madagascar, but I've also seen a huge increase in Muslims actually. Something that a lot of people are like very confused about is the famadiana, which is just the turning of the tombs, of the bones, tombs. Same thing, guys. Of the body of the dead person is rewrapped in fresh silk every 5 to 7 years. And now if YouTube is gonna take down this video, I'm gonna like literally tell them this is culture. This is not like... So it's like a huge festival. They take out the body out of the tomb, they refresh the silk or just the fresh cloth, and then they rewrap it. So I say people don't really do it anymore. I don't notice people from the cities doing it as much as people from like the countrysides. Mostly done in the countrysides, and there's also not every single ethnic group that does this. And we have language and identity. The Malagasy language is part of the Austronesian language family, actually closer to Malay than any other African language, which I find very interesting, because what were these people doing down here? We are pretty far. Like, I do notice though, there are some similarities with African language as well. I'm not saying there isn't. Then there's the French, which is used in like government and business. Most people are trying to pick up English these days because English allows them to have more opportunities, especially the youth that, you know, have a whole life ahead of them. I think I'm blessed to grew up in an English environment. Those of you who don't know, I used to live in South Africa. That's why I can speak English like this. That's why I talk the way I do. So moving on to the biodiversity. Madagascar is known to have like this huge endemic wildlife. We're known to have the lemurs, which is, I'm pretty sure this is represented in the movie. One of the accurate things said in the movie as well. We have like 112 species of lemurs. The ring-tailed lemur is the one that's like the most famous, but there's also like the indri, the mouse lemur. We also have reptiles. So we have the panther chameleon, the color-changing chameleons. We also have the leaf-tailed gecko. There's actually a lot of information about the endemic wildlife in Madagascar. So if you want to research that, just go on the net, search endemic wildlife Madagascar, lots of them, lots of pictures. Let's move on to the economy of Madagascar. So our GDP is 15.79 billion USD. Our key exports are vanilla, nickel, and cobalt. Some other key things that you guys should know is the poverty and infrastructure. 75% of people in rural areas don't have electricity. Around 70% of the population lives under $2 per day, and then only 12% of roads are paved, unfortunately. A lot of you have asked for travel guides and travel destinations. I have compiled some of my favorite things based off of where I've been and based off of the net. So there's Andas Bay, where you can find like the lemurs, the indri lemurs specifically. And then we have the Tsing de Bemara, which is the limestone karst pinnacles. I think that's how you say it. There's also the islands. I totally recommend going to the islands off of the mainland, because those ones is where you can find the island, tropical islandy vibe. There's Noos Bay, and then there's also Sainte Marie. Also recommend the capital, because it gives you like an idea of how the local people of Madagascar live. And then the capital also has a lot of history. Obviously the Avenue of the Baobabs, great, amazing. It's in Murundava. I actually visited there in this video, so make sure to check that out if you want to see it. I also totally recommend Murundava. I love the city itself. It's amazing. It's like a small little town. It's actually not a city, it's just a town. Great, amazing, very windy, very hot, but it's still really nice. Yeah, I think that's all. Now coming back to what I said in the intro, where I said a lot of people think it's out of this world, but I'm gonna have to disagree. Now the reason why I'm gonna have to disagree is because Madagascar is just like any other African country. It's in Africa, it's just like any other African country. The people, the food, very similar to the other African countries. Obviously, as I said, we do have like our nuances, because we also have the roots from Australasia, but I would say we are pretty similar to African countries as well. You know, we share a lot of things. And since I see that a lot of my audience, especially on TikTok, is actually from Africa, that's mainly because of my location, because I'm in Africa. So then TikTok pushes my videos out to Africans. So a lot of people actually just think it's going to be like, whoa, out of this world. But no, guys, it's not. It's really not. It's typical. It's really just like any other African country. Except with obviously its own nuances and its own difference. The flora and fauna is definitely out of this world though, so I'm gonna have to say yes, flora and fauna out of this world, very unique. That's all for this video. I do think I didn't go into that much detail into a lot of things, so if you think that I missed a couple of things, you can always comment down below. But do keep in mind that this video is a very, very light overview of everything you need to know. I didn't want to make it too long, so that's why I also didn't go into depth about a lot of things. Like there's a lot to unpack. It's a whole country. I can't just fit that into a 15-minute video. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below if you think I made any mistakes, if you think I made any, like, if you have any remarks, if you have anything to add on to, or if you just find it interesting. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. This feels so odd to say. Anyways, if you want to like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah,